This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yeah, so in the XPath, either you can use this way, full match or partial match. So full match is by using equal sign and double quotes, and partial match is by using contains and single quotes, like property name, comma, followed by property value. And you can use multiples of it, just make sure you use the contains every time, otherwise it won't work. And is the concatenation keyword, you can say. So basically it is to combine multiple property value combinations. So this is the property value combo, and this is the property value combo, and is a concatenating thing. I can also use or if I think either this is true or that is true. So normally it's not used, only in rare cases it is. So otherwise mostly it is used as concatenating and using and I can append parents on the left side, children on the right side. So single slash means it is direct descendant, direct child, right? If I enter like list element, that is a direct child. If it is double slash, it is a relative element. That means there may be many relatives in between. This is the child, this may be my grandchild also. So the relative path is always indicated by double slash. Okay, single slash is always is going to indicate the direct descendant. Okay, so let me just make notes of these small things so that you don't forget. Okay, so notes, double slash means relative, right? That you got. Single slash means yes, direct. Okay, immediate. Immediate, relative, and relative path or relative whatever. And for full match, exact match, use double quotes. Partial match, use single quotes, right? I mean, these are the small notes for you only, just to remember. All these important notes. Okay, so somebody was asking a question. Go ahead now.
I said the match didn't show up because you didn't close the parentheses, because it's open parentheses.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I am coming to that. I was, I mean, thinking it was not recording, so then I went back. Okay, that's a good point. So you're paying attention. Yeah, so here, which one is not closed? The parenthesis is not closed. Good point. However, there are 21 matches. Earlier, that was an invalid XPath. Now it is valid, but with 21 matches, which is not good for us, our automation. The XPath is correct, valid. However, it should yield one and only one match, right? That's our motto. So let me write that down. To where did I write the earlier notes? Yeah. XPath must be valid and yield one match only. Okay, this is the important point to remember. Important note. Okay, so now let's make it yield single match. How would I do that? Okay, tell me.
You put equal sign?
No, equals is even worse because contains is better, but still you have to choose. I mean, you can go for full match also, you can put, but you choose carefully. That's all. Okay,
Go
this
to
is my,
PartialLink again and refresh it.
yeah, that's where I am. So it is highlighted, don't worry. See, if I'm hovering, it is highlighting this field. Okay, look at this element highlighted, div. Okay, div contains ID. I picked up pickup only. Maybe there are pickup, multiple pickups. Okay, let me go for display also. So you have to work on it. That's why we call it, you have to work on XPath rather than you choosing the XPath. Display. Okay, now it's down to 4. Still good to go. I mean, four more to go. Okay. Now let's say I don't want to put UF_I. Okay, let's say this is just for practice. Okay, because UFI is a dynamic string. Let's say now how would I go about it? Can I use a different second property? This is a simple XPath, right? Now let's use a complex XPath using the two property value combos. Okay, now tell me which one I can go for, or I can also go for the parent, right? Div is in the div. Okay, this div is in the form. This div is in, you see, form. I can put one of these like this div, or I can say it's distant parent is div, which is 0. Okay, that's not good. Okay, this is still 1 of 4, but it's not good. Okay, it's not a appropriate way, but I'm just showing you can do that. If it were different one and its sibling has different one, I would have done that. Okay, first of all, let us see what are the 4 matches so that we can rectify, I eliminate that whatever the other 3 contains. Okay, second one also has this one. This is actually this sing text. Okay, the whole box has multiple parts of it. The car symbol, this one, the outer one, everything has the same ID. That's what the developer has given. And this one, it is somewhere else. Okay, it is off, out of focus. It is there, so I just can't see. Maybe I have to scroll down. Okay, let's not worry about it. It may be down because I have to scroll down all the way and I don't find it, but it is there somewhere in the page because I am just seeing the first 10% of the page. So it is definitely not a not that we are interested in. And fourth one is out of focus too, but it has the IDC IU that is changed. Pickup display is common. That's why it is showing. Okay, now let's get back to the our match. Okay, so I want to go for the secondary property. Now how do I write that? Using and contains. Now which one I can go for right now? I can go for there are like many, correct? So if I look at this tab index 0, I don't need to go for because it might change. Tab index might be changed. These things like you can shift this to right side, left side, down, up, wherever. So that is not good. Class I can go for, but it looks like a random string. Okay, it is maybe generated randomly. Okay, so that is also not good idea. Then what else? Data placeholder where. Okay, this looks like the one I can go for because it's a where. Where do you want to go to, right? So that's directly pointing to the purpose of the field. So maybe that will be static. I mean, constant, will not be changed in future. So I can go for that ampersand at the rate data hyphen placeholder. Now property name has to be exactly mentioned here. This you cannot put partially. All right. Yes, comma. And what is its value? Where, right? Now you can ask me, I could have gone for full match also. Yeah, I can go for full match. I can remove the symbol. Maybe in future you can remove the symbol. Let's try to play with that. Okay. Okay, still how many matches?
2.
2 matches. Okay. So maybe I have to put question mark. Still 2 matches. Okay, now it's time to go for another property, or there are no parents I can put in because all are divs. Okay. Okay, so let's try to change this one now. This is just to show you example. You can go for optimized way. If this is not needed, you don't put it. Like I said, it's just for example. I'm taking all this. Okay, so now I hyphen pickup. Let's go. Okay, now it's exact match. Now you might not need this one at all. Okay, so this is just for example of constructing a complex XPath. Right. This is a simple XPath. I mean, it's not valid in this context, but just an example. This is a CSS selector. This is a XPath 2 auto-generated. It's actually, you can call it abstract, absolute. Sorry. Absolute XPath is this one. I mean, this is what we are constructing is a relative, simple relative XPath. It's still not absolute, I would say, because it's still not coming the whole way from the parent and parent. Let's call it absolute. Instead, I would say I can still call it auto-generated only because it's we have copied it from the code. This is also auto-generated, but CSS selector, so let's not go for it. This is a complex XPath. Okay. Now everybody is comfortable with XPaths and everything. Should I take another example? Okay, you can work on it. You can take any site and work on this. Is it okay, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now you can take kayak.com, or you can go for what else? Cheap flights. The reason why I'm taking flight reservation applications is you can find as many objects as possible, like drop downs, text boxes, date picks, right? Like this, and you see drop downs, and like so many links. Okay, so you can try all those. Okay, so like yesterday I asked you to create a Git account. Did everyone do that? Git account like this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so now we will try to share the project which we have done in Java. I mean, just simple examples, and see if it works. I will try to. You can take it and come. You can take the update from my code. I'll share you the Git URL and see. Then we will go for Selenium. So first, quickly. So this is also important from the project perspective, because in project also we try to share the code using a configuration management tool such as Git or Subversion, SVN, ClearCase, or Visual Source Save. So the reason why we are going for GitHub is it's free and open source. Okay, so now how do you go about it? Okay, when I share the URL, it will be like this repository. Okay, and don't worry, I will share it again because I'm going to do it now, and its URL will be .git like this. This is the specific project, so we can share. So now how do you configure GitHub? Create account first and go to whatever I share. Okay, don't worry right now. I might change this. Fork it so that we don't affect the master without change. So whatever I commit, that will be master. Okay, so you have to fork it. So once you here. So there will be symbol fork. Yeah, this one. So because this is already this is not a master, okay, you cannot fork it. So if it is a master, you can fork it like this anywhere. So once you fork it, then clone or download. So you will be given option to clone or download. All right, somewhere here. So let's start that again. Then import. Once you download, you will get a zip file, the whole project in terms of a zip file. Then what to do is unzip it and import the project into your Eclipse. Now I will show you how to import, because in the real-time project also you should be able to import it, whole project, existing project. Unlike we create our own project, that's what we did for the example practice purpose, but in real time you have to import it. Okay, I'll show you that using this import, how do you import the existing project. Then you can start working on your tasks in project, or you can start doing your own homework that is given to you. Then you also install your GitHub. This is already, you must have already done. 8th portion is for your sake. This is all taking the others project, and this is how do you do it in your own project. Install GitHub, and you can also, okay, this is for configuring GitHub in the Eclipse, because in Eclipse directly you want to communicate, update, commit, or take update from to or from the GitHub. So there is a extension in GitHub, extension for GitHub in the Eclipse marketplace. So that I'll show you. And using this, you can add or edit new files, and using this theme, so you will get a new menu bar like theme here. Okay, I'll show you. And in that there will be synchronize, and then you will be able to commit and push and add menu item for Git. Okay, Windows perspective, customize perspective, you can change the perspective, like we are in currently Java perspective, so you can change the perspective to team. So then you will be able to commit and push, take updates and everything. Okay, now let's quickly see this. Okay, so now it shows me initially start a project. So I am as a, let's say, automation test lead, and starting a project. So let's call this as Java session. Okay. Then I'll make it as public and create repository. Private means only I'll be able to see. If I want to share this with others, I should be make it as public. Okay. Now I can give optional Java practice class. Okay. Now create repository. Okay, so repository is created. Now I should be able to update, right? So this is the URL. Okay, you can also use command prompt to use this git. For this you need git bash. So you can do it using the command prompt, but initially I don't recommend it. It's okay. We can use it from front end itself. So the command is git commit, first commit, whatever. This is a commit, and you can add to origin or push to the master and everything. So I am going to import the code, right? Import the code means whatever is there in my local, I'm going to put it in the GitHub so that I can share. The URL will be like this. So when you try to fork it, you have to fork this one. So instead of that, this is the Java session not get. Okay, so let's import the code. Old repository clone URL. Okay, so I don't have the clone URL, right? Okay, let's try to do the marketplace thing first. Okay, so for installing Git inside the Eclipse, we have to go to marketplace. So that will be in help. Oh, so I am. Okay, it's not letting me do the marketplace. What's the thing? Cannot install remote marketplace location. This system cannot find. Okay. Okay, no worries. I'll try to figure out this. Sometimes you can also install new software, but I doubt it. Okay, let's try to get the URL. Install new software from Eclipse for Git. Okay, so you have to done all this. Let's see what is the URL it is saying. Main update site. Git integration for Eclipse. Now I'll select. Okay, so this is the one available software. So this is for install new software from Eclipse for. Okay, so now I can select this. I don't need this experimental features. Java implementation for Git command line interface. Okay, we don't need this. For Eclipse source code, yeah, I think that's all needed, but okay, let's install everything. Let's see. Okay, so meanwhile it is doing, you can do it parallelly if you want. Are you doing parallelly or key? The installation cannot be completed as required. Okay, it's installation failing. Okay, still installing. So what I'm going to do is, instead of importing from here, which is asking SVN old repository clone, I'm going to do it from the Eclipse itself. So I'll be providing this URL and export to this one, so that you will see that here, right here. That's my idea. Okay, so let it run. So meanwhile, if you're doing parallelly, you can do. All right. So let's not spend time on this one. So this I can show you next class also. This is not important because it's taking time. Okay. Don't worry about this. These are the manual testing notes I already shared with you, right? Okay. Any doubts in this one? Because I just scroll down to this. You might be getting any ideas. Old refresh memory. Okay, for the concepts of manual testing. SDLC, everybody is okay, right? In terms, just to refresh your memory for the knowledge purpose. SDLC contains all these steps: kickoff meeting, requirement gathering, technical design, coding, deployment, testing, UAT, and maintenance. Okay, so are you already are aware of this? And STLT contains how many? 5: test strategy, test planning, test design, test execution, and defect tracking. Okay, so we already talked about this. So don't worry, I'll share this with you again. I think I already shared with you testing notes. And okay, so that's all done. Okay, now in a project, okay, the agile project, the project might be of 2-tier architecture, it might be of 3-tier architecture, it might be of entire architecture. What is a 2-tier architecture normally? 2-tier architecture means client and web server, right? So there are no web services basically. So client means your browser, and your normal browser, Chrome browser, or whatever you're sitting on your laptop or computer and working on, that is your client. You're basically sending a request. When you send a request, you basically type the URL in the URL box in the Chrome browser. That means you want that page. That's a request, right? So it goes and hits the appropriate web server, and that sends back the response with the page, HTML index.html page. Then you click on a link like sign up, right? That means you are sending a request again here, and that goes to web server, and web server responds back with that particular link, sign up page. So you'll get a sign up.html page. Everything basically downloads the sign up.html page. Then you will see the browser processes it, and it will download and display the HTML. Then you will sign up and what you will enter your first name, last name, date of birth, gender, and password, username, everything, and you click the sign up button again, right? Then you will send it. Now web server takes all the information, inserts that into database, right? Then again sends you back the another account page with a welcome so and so person. All right. Now that means there is a database also. Now what you do is you go to profile in your client and you want to change your password. Okay, you change your password and update. Click the update. Now again that request goes to here, and what it does is it sends it, web server takes it, and the developer's code actually takes it and executes a update query, SQL query, update so and so table where so and so username is equal to so and so password is updated so and so. Okay, it will write the SQL query, and that will update the particular row in the database table, account page or whatever. it will update, and successful confirmation will be given to the code, and it sends back the same message in terms of HTML back to this client. Now you will see your password is successfully updated. So this process goes on back and forth, okay, between the communication is between web server and the client, hence it is called two-tier architecture. Okay, now in three-tier architecture, normally nowadays we use, okay, client, this web server is in between, and database server, okay, web services. Okay, so what happens is, for example, if I want to inquire with a third party, let's say my is this portal, which is a healthcare portal, and I am just trying to enter my SSN and find out like date of birth. Okay, that's not for general public, it's for admin portal. Let's say admin portal of healthcare project, healthcare application has this feature. I can input SSN, I can get the details from the web service. So the web service is called SSN to demographic details, let's say. Okay, that's a SOAP message, or you can say REST service, whatever it is. So when you send that request, you enter the SSN and hit the button, OK button or submit button. That means you are sending a request. That request will be taken in terms of XML, not HTML, because web service, when you want to try to communicate with the information, it will be sent in terms of XML, not HTML. So XML will contain request, payload contains only one field, let's say SSN. Now that will be taken and it processes that and checks back with the database, because the database row might contain SSN and the counter parts, the related demographic details, it will fetch all those from the database by querying select so and so columns from so and so table schema dot. So this will look like this: select column name, let's say first name, last name, DOB, gender, from schema name. Okay,
EMP table.
schema name, the table name can be demographic details. Let's say this is just an example where SSN equals, okay, so I can 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay, something like this. Okay, it will run a query and it will get back the all these details. Now all these details will be put in an XML format, that is called a response. So a request will be sent, request will be in terms of like this. I am just writing a simple XML, okay, don't worry, I will show you the examples of complex XML. So this will be like header, okay, it will contain blah blah blah, demographic. Okay, now whatever is closed will be closed like this, and you have all those headers, and I'm not mentioning all those because there will be a lot before this. Okay, so we are directly coming to the important part. So this will contain SSN. SSN will be whatever SSN we are providing as an input. Okay, so this will be communicated like this in terms of XML, not or REST format, JSON request. This is called request SOAP payload. Okay, JSON will be in different format. Don't worry about that. Later I'll show you. So that's it. Body will be closed if at all it has body. Okay, now it will hit the web database and take the response. So response will be containing all these details, whatever are fetched from the database. So it will fetch first name. Yeah, first name is so and so, John, or what. So every time tag is open, a tag is closed with the slash. last name. This is DOB. Okay. Gender. Okay, so last name is John Doe. Doe. Date of birth is MMDDY format. Let's say 01 10 1990. Okay, let's say gender is, there may be short form male or female. Okay, so the response will be in terms of XML again. Now this is how the communication happens. So just remember that the payload can be in terms of JSON or XML. Okay, JSON will be different format, so it will be like this. Something like this. Okay, I'm not exactly remembering this. First name John, last name Doe, like this. Gender male. It might contain full also. It all depends how it is defined. Okay, now closed. Like this. Let's see quickly how it is a example. How does the example look like? JSON example. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Bracket open and flower bracket open, blah blah blah. So the content like this. Yeah. Okay, so both property and its value both are in the double quotes and separated by comma. So this will also be inside. Right, and it can have parent. So I just went for the direct child. So everything is closed. If you have like a child, like some other details which are sub part of something like salary, so that will be having like another one. So salary, you can have again in the salary, you can go for job 1 and double. So it will be always in a hierarchical format. So this is a like JSON. So request will be sent from the client in terms of XML. Okay, even though you enter the SSN in HTML, it will be communicated via a SOAP message like this XML. Then that will be taken by the web service as input and process it and check with the database and form a response, something like this. It will send back this response back to the client. Now client understands it and it will display all this information, not just like this, again in the form of HTML. Just like HTML is for the display purpose, easy readability. You cannot read this as good as you read the HTML page, right? So that will be printed like in the nice format in the HTML, like first name equals so and so, last name equals so and so, in a tabular format, like all we see in a fancy format. Okay, so that's how the communication happens in the 3-tier architecture. In entire architecture, there are many web services, multiple web services, multiple database servers, right? There will be only one client at one end where I'm sitting, that is a client. So that's the current architecture in the current project. So just to give you the idea, I just took it. Okay, so coming back to automation framework. Now we are following a hybrid framework currently. Hybrid in the sense it's a mix of all the things that are needed. Now that contains modularization. What is modularization? I'll tell you briefly and we will see that going forward. So modularization is modular wise. For example, you see here, library contains arithmetic conditional statements. Now, if I will create, this is generic totally. So instead, I would say this is a math library, and I will say another is page object model, and another is like applications, sign up and accounts, transactions, and transfers, blah blah blah, whatever is there. Okay, I just need to start the Eclipse for installing new software. Okay, let it do it. Okay, those are all modularized. Like I said in the software manual testing concepts also, modularization is important. Even in HLD, LLD, the architect divides the whole project into modules: login module, sign up module, and technical modules, all those details, and they will be again elaborated in the low level design, right? So likewise, we also do the same thing in our automation code. So basically, it's a divide and conquer policy, modules, so that it will be easier to maintain. Okay, so that will be part of hybrid framework definitely. And combining that with keyword driven approach. You already know what is keyword driven approach. Keyword is a function name. So any function that is like add, I created an add function method, right? That is a keyword. So simple thing. So those keywords are relevant to the application correctly, so that I can easily remember and call those whenever I want to. So that's the basic purpose of using keywords. So if it is like sign up, so instead of putting something registration, I don't use registration because it's something else. I'll directly connect with sign up. If application uses sign up, I'll use my method name as sign up too. So that easily I can call it wherever I need to call it. So that is a keyword driven approach. And data driven. So data driven in the sense, data driven, what is the data driven? I want to run the test cases. I want to run the test cases for all kinds of data. Like what? What are the data types I want to run for? I told you, right? In the black box testing techniques, we have seen many test cases for a single test scenario using the BVA and DCP. Business, what is the BVA again? Boundary value analysis, and ECP, equivalence class partitioning. If you remember, okay, that gives rise to many test cases, right? Now using automation, we can put all the data in an Excel spreadsheet and run that particular one test case by running multiple test data. So that approach is called data driven approach. Okay, so that data we can put in Excel or CSV file. CSV is comma separated value file. So mostly Excel files we use, so we will see that. And we will combine this with the Jenkins for continuous integration. Okay, so that means that what it will be run every after each build, successful deployment, nightly builds or smoke test build or regression build. So basically it will be integrated with developers code, so that whenever the infrastructure team deploys the developers code, latest bug fixes, hot fixes, new releases, immediately it will trigger our automation code as well. We don't have to trigger manually, so that we don't have to spend time on it. So basically it will be scheduled automatically, it will be executed. Okay, so this all things combined that we are calling as a hybrid framework. All right, so now for reusability, we will use all the functions that like sign up based on the application. If it is a flight reservation application, we'll reserve flight and change the flight and pay and all those things. I'm just saying for example. And also we make sure the reporting screenshot taking occurs. Okay, every time we execute, we have to take the screenshots, remember. So take screenshots means what? Taking the picture and put it in the location and append it to a report, correct? So with the caption and everything, I'll show you more example automation test report. So we will generate one too. So that will contain all the screenshots starting with the table, test case name, caption like sign up, then followed by sign up screenshot. Okay, the screenshot must show all the data when you enter, so it should not be empty. So for example, sign up contains first name, last name, date of birth, gender, all this. We enter all this data automated fashionly, and before hitting the submit button, we take the screenshot. That's the approach. Okay, not before entering, not after submitting. Okay, you enter the data, and before submitting, we take the screenshot and store it in the PNG format or JPEG format or whatever, so that it will show exactly what data we entered. Then submit button, after submit button, it goes to next page. Then we will take the screenshot too. If there is any data to be entered, we enter the data and take screenshot. So always before, after entering data, before clicking the submit button, we take the screenshot. And likewise, we take all the important screenshots for all modules of all pages and put it in a PDF doc format and convert to PDF. That is later. Okay, so that's the approach we are going to see. So that is for the automation framework. We will see this in a practical way. So this is just a theory. Okay, so for data pool approach, we will use Apache POA jar. Okay, for CSV, there is a jar called JXL jar. Okay. And just now I explained you hybrid framework, right? Hybrid framework contains all this. Okay, reporting contains like this. This is the easiest explanation I can show you. Contains embedded screenshots plus captions, headers, and it will be sent via email as an attachment. That is possible too. And you can integrate with batch running or Jenkins, or Windows scheduling is also there. Okay, Windows scheduling normally it's not suggested. You can schedule any task in the Windows, right? If you know, but mostly batch running or Jenkins is advised. So in the infrastructure, in the modularization, there will be infrastructure level in which we will create how to click a button or click a link, how to select a value from drop down, how to select a radio button and stuff like that. And in the data driven framework, I will put a code for reading the data from Excel. We don't have to write the data to Excel because that's not a good idea, even though we can do that. So whatever we write, we prepare the Excel spreadsheet prior hand manually. So whatever do from the automation, we will read it and input that. Take the data from Excel and input into the application. So page objects mainly contains XPaths for each page, so that we will create each class file for each page. Okay, and finally it looks like this. Output looks like this. Pass. Okay, test if passed for registration. Registration is successful. And fail, expected value. Okay, so and so. Okay, this fail. And pass expected value, this URL is exactly coming. And test if failed for validation for first name, last name, registration is not successful. Okay, so and so reason, because I enter the first name wrongly or out of character, or username is going beyond the given specification or something. So all this report will look like this: pass, and it's what step is passing, what step is failing, what is the expected and actual result if in case it is failing, and all these calculations we will show you. Okay, don't worry. And okay, so this is how it's gonna look like when we enter the data using the infrastructure function. So initially we will see in a raw format. Okay, so then we will go about it. So my instead of going through the theory, I'll directly jump to this one program. Let's see if it is open. Yes, it is open. Now I don't see Git. Okay, don't worry, Git is later. It's later. Okay, now let me jump to the Selenium project. Okay. So first we will do the normal test, basic test. This is Java. Okay. So don't worry, I will show you in a separate folder. Okay, let's call it demo initially. So this will be very basic. So I am putting PSVM to include the executable code, right? Okay. Okay, so let's take example of small one. Okay, so there is a site called demo AUT. I don't exactly know. New tools, yeah, that's the one. So this is a flight reservation, but dummy flight reservation application, okay, which we can use it for our automation purposes. So I would recommend using the same. So I put it here. Okay, so this is the one you can use. So okay, here we can use, yeah. Okay, yeah, so here, okay, what are the actions we can use? What are the modules we can divide this into? Anybody?
Sign on,
Sign
register.
on. First we will register. Okay, that is the first one. First we register, so then sign on. Okay, so let me do it one time manually and then we will enter all. Phone number, blah blah blah, email. Okay, so these are not mandatory fields. Username I can use. Okay, let me use Sangam itself, and password Sangam from Sangam. Okay, submit. Okay, so now, okay, don't save it, because every time we have to, if it saves it, automation will not be able to enter it, so it will not save it. And when I sign in, okay, it automatically logged me in, right? So I can also sign in next time. So let's sign in. Okay, now I'm signed in. Okay, never. Okay, so our first module is registration. Okay, so we'll just divide this into modules. Okay, these are the Eclipse shortcuts. So if you want to go navigate back, Alt left arrow, Alt right arrow for going forward. Refactoring is, I showed you, changing the name. There is a shortcut, Alt Shift R. Open the resource, Control Shift R. Open method, Control O. So these are the, like for example here, the Java tutorial. Yeah. So for example here, if I want to open method max, so I can use max min numbers. So like this, it will take me to there. So these are the shortcuts. And if I want to rename, so same shortcut. If I want to rename, what is the shortcut? Alt Shift R, right? Alt Shift R. Okay. So I can change this now name here, max min numbers, to max min of numbers, let's say. So if I do this, it will change the name everywhere, all the reference of it. So that's one thing, so that there is no errors. No errors means it properly changed. Alt navigation back means I worked on different class before. Now I want to switch back to this. So Alt back. So that will go there. So basically it is like using this browser's left, this arrow. Okay. So same thing. That is a shortcut. Go back and forth. So likewise, there are many. We will see on the go. All right. And these basically documented the steps, whatever we have done. So just for your reading purpose, you can go through. Okay. Anyway, let's not deviate from this class. So okay, next. Okay, now what I wanted to do was jotting down all the modules for our own. What do you mean? Automating purpose. You want to capture the XPath and put those XPaths in these classes. So we'll modularize for the page object model. Okay, what is the first module? registration. I mean inside this application, I will say. So let's use this here. Project demo. All right. Demo URL is this. I'll just make a separate here. Okay. For this, we are working on the modules. So this is how you work on for the first time. That's why I'm showing you. Okay. What is the second module? After that, what I did after registration? Sign in. Third one is what I am doing currently.
Book a flight.
Booking the flight finder. That's what you call. Okay, so I am booking round trip. So I can select arriving in airport. Okay, and I can change the class. Class. Airline preferences, unified airlines. These are all dummies, so don't worry. Okay, so I can go for 2. Okay, 2 is for calculation wise I'm taking. So I can book tickets, number of tickets multiplied by the price there, so that I can validate it. Then continue. Okay, now I'll see select flight. So next page, select flight. Fourth one. Okay, so here I'll select based on the price and availability and time, departure time. Select and return flight. I can select and continue, and then book a flight. So basically, I have to pay the. Okay, don't worry. The names of the classes will not have spaces. So. Okay, the reason why I put 2 passengers is I can calculate it. Okay, so basically this is a good idea for practice. So 271 and 282 is the return price, and multiplied by 2 with plus taxes give rise to this. So is it correct or not? I should be validating 2 as part of my automation. So that function will be called validate the price or something. So that we will say, and we can enter the first name, last name, number. And number, blah blah blah. Okay, there is no validation, right? In real time there is, so I'm just entering something, and I can put expiration date 2000. Okay, don't worry, because this is a not maintainable site, so they didn't maintain after 2000. Even though your expiration year is 2000, it won't check against any database, so dummy site, so it's fine. Okay, I can leave all the optional fields and go with the default. So I can enter all this, but that's okay. And secure purchase. All right. So now flight confirmation finally. So I have to do it manually. That's why I'm running one time manually, so that I can jot down the points. Okay, what is the 6th module? Let's say flight confirmation. Okay. So then I can back to flights or log out pretty much. Okay, then finally I can validate here to validate the price. Okay, so that I can make sure the same price that I paid for is displaying. There are no changes. Sometimes there will be changes, in which case the test case fails. So there is a validation too, so that I can make module. Where did you find book a flight, right? So I can say 6 validate total price. All right, and this will be 7. Okay, so there is a valid price to your taxes, and this thing is displayed here. Okay, so pretty much I can use the same function over here. So that will be modularized. I can call any number of times, but I have to define one time. Then logout. So I can also make sure logout is happening properly or not. All right, so logout, right? Or back to flights, doesn't matter. So whichever is your end-to-end test case. Now when I log out, it is back to sign on page. Now that I make sure. Okay, so all these things I jotted down, correct? Now it's how our automation project is gonna look like. Okay, let's try the. Okay, so for that I'm going to create a brand new project. Okay, so let's call that. What do you want to call this? Already tutorial is there. So Selenium. It's called session. Okay, so all the source files will be going to this one, all the class files will be going to this one. Okay, so just to explain you, the libraries will come here, and if any third-party libraries, will add it here, right? And add external jars all here. I'll show you that first. Okay, so Selenium session. Okay, so now if you remember, we have put all the drivers over here, right? So all these drivers must be configured within the Selenium. So let's configure that. So right click, configure, not configure Maven, but you can go to properties pretty much, and go to the Java build path, and you're back to the libraries again. So here I can add external jars. These are called external jars, right? Or add a library, and to that library I can add external jars too. So let's call this user library. Okay. Then next, let's call this library lib. Okay, or I can create new one. I can remove this lib. This lib points to the different one. So let's use our own. Create new. Let's call lib only. I just removed that lib. And okay. Okay. So for this, I want to add, right? Now I will add external jars to this one. Okay, so where are my external jars? All the jars are in drivers. Remember, that's where I put it. So these two I added, and I'll add more libraries. Add external jars again. So basically, my other jars are in lib folder. So I'm taking off this. Yes. Done. Finish and apply, and okay. Okay, so now all the jars are okay added. Let me close all this. Demo save changes. Something wrong with this issue. That's okay, that's a different project. Okay, so now if you observed, I didn't add the driver files to it. I just added the jar files. Driver files are not part of JRE. So these I have to configure in my own this project. So okay, so these are all registration. First, let's create the skeleton of the project. Modules, registration, sign in, right finder, right? So now source, I will create the framework. So then we will go about automating. Okay, so let me create project package. So the package, first I want to put pages. Okay, always remember the package name starts with a small letter, right? Pages. And then infrastructural level. Okay, so don't worry, initially I won't put infrastructural level. Let's go small way. Okay, this is just for an example, but let's create initially and leave it empty, then we'll fill it. Infrastructure. And what else we need? We need to write test cases, right? That is also important. Test cases. So instead of test cases, we'll just call tests. Okay, so these are the tests. And what else? If there are any utilities, like if I want to manipulate dates and everything, I can put those in the utils. Okay, so we will add more as we need them. So initially, just for an example, I will directly use tests, then we will modularize them. So we'll go step by step so that you understand properly. Okay, the classes will contain, the pages will contain all this. So basically all the pages exports will go into that. So let's call it registration. So that is one class. Okay, do not put the public static void main because it's not gonna be executable. So executable classes will be inside the test cases. So this is just for creating exports or reusable functions. So it's like keywords. Okay, so that's our Java file. So what we are trying to do right now, we are trying to create a framework skeleton. Sign in. The next one is flight finder. Okay, remember always class name starts with a capital letter and every new word starts with a capital letter too. Just to differentiate between each word, you have to maintain the standard naming convention. Okay, flight finder, select flight, book a flight. Okay, so now just for your hands-on, I will give one of you guys to create the other classes, just empty classes, don't worry. So since I don't know whether you are practicing or not, okay, who wants to take the control? Tamina, can you try? Okay, who wants to volunteer? Just create the classes based on what? The applications pages, right? Who will do this? Okay, I'll pick one name and ask Sabina.
Yeah, I can do it.
Control. Yeah, don't worry, it's just empty class. I just want you to guys to practice hands-on. I don't know whether you're doing or not at home, so I just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead, right click and create a, you already know. So if you want to just refer to it, just refer to the here or here, jot it down. Okay, alt tab you can use. Okay, so go now. The create the next class for the next page.
Flight registration. You said alt what to get to the next?
Alt tab will control your machine maybe. So okay, what do you think next one? You remember, right, already?
Register.
Registration is over, sign in is over, flight find is over. Then
Payment?
No.
Select flight.
Select flight. Yes. Select flight.
Select a flight. Yeah.
Should I put public static void?
No. That's not an executable class. Remember, I told you, right? It's just for reusable functions and XPath. So just finish it and
Okay.
okay, go for the next one. So,
The next one is I don't remember the next one.
that's after selecting flight.
Book a flight.
Book a flight. Where you pay the price. That's book a flight.
Hold on. Okay. And the next one is I don't remember the next one on the list.
Next one.
Validate total price.
Okay.
And the next one is there's two more, I think. Out. Flight confirmation. There you go. Those are 12 modules.
Okay. So log out, right? Okay. So I will give control to another one. Who wants to take next one? Or I will show you one, then we'll go about it, right? Okay, so this basically we want to use it for XPaths, page object model, because that's where we are gonna maintain the XPaths from. So first we will go to sign in. Okay, doesn't matter. So we are already in sign in. Okay, so I will show you for one, then I will. Okay, so one more thing I didn't show you guys yesterday. We can also do it from Firefox, correct? So Firefox has same thing, DOM structure, but it has another extension that is called FireBug or FirePath 2. So let's try to see if they still maintain FireBug, or normally they will use the DOM itself, demo EAT. So if you want to use this application, just type demo EAT in the this thing, and you will easily go to the Google will take you. So there you go. Right. Okay, so I'll just bookmark this. Oh, this went to the different set actually. I don't know whether they. Tools, slides. Sorry, this section of website is cut. Okay, so you can directly go to the. We'll bookmark this. But the site I'm looking for is directly It's not maintained, but this is a simple automation practice applications just for understanding. Okay, bookmark this. Okay, now I want to capture the XPaths, right? We have already seen in the Chrome, so I'm going to show it to you in the different browser, Mozilla Firefox. So there are two ways. One is, what is it called? Extension name is FireBug. Get FireBug. Or maybe it's made intrinsical part of the browser itself. Okay, add to Firefox. Okay, before this, I just want to make sure quickly in the DOM. So how do you go to the DOM actually? So DOM, you can directly jump to more. Oh, they changed this thing. Last time I checked, it was different. Web developer, yes. Okay, so these are the related tools for the web developer. So all you want to see is the DOM. So Control Shift C, inspector. Okay, so yeah, so just remember Control Shift I for the Chrome, Control Shift C is for the Mozilla Firefox shortcut. Control Shift C is for Firefox DOM. DOM means, what is the full form of DOM?
Object modeling.
Document object model. Okay, so here you can see the same thing, right? Only thing is you cannot validate the XPath here. Control F doesn't work. So that for that purpose we need the FireBug. So okay. I don't really see that enabled here. FireBug is not supported. Yeah. So there was another way adding FirePath. No, FirePath is also removed. It was compatible with the older version. Currently, they deprecated it. So how do we validate XPath here? Console is fine. All access were different. Okay, so what you see is it is a CSS selector. It's a complete structure from the parent. HTML is the topmost parent, right? HTML has body, see div, table, table row, table body, table row, table data, table, and again there is a table within a table within a table, like nested tables. Finally, we are down to the input, our own, whatever we are interested in. So now I can select, copy the XPath from here too. Okay, but this is not a good idea. Like I told you, we have to write our own XPath. So let's see how it's. Yeah, so this is the Firefox generated XPath. And this is not recommended at all because it's an absolute XPath. Absolute XPaths are not recommended because if developer changes any of the table, row, table data structure, it's slightly, and the automation will not be smooth. It will basically be abruptly ended. I mean, because XPath could not be found, and it will end right there. So that's not a good idea. We don't want to block the automation just for the sake of XPath is not right, it's changed down, properties changed. So that's the reason we are going for the relative XPath, that too customized, fully accurate, no matter what. It should be more or mostly generic. Even though some changes occur, it should still be able to work. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there's any other way. Otherwise, we will use Chrome only. Firefox has removed it, or FireBug. Let's try again. Okay, let's see. Do they have any XPath finder? Okay. Okay. Now, what does this do? Change XPath option. Okay.
I think FirePath or FireBug is not working the latest version of Firefox.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. The older version of Firefox, the FireBug is still working. Latest version is not working. That's why I'm going for different one. Let's see. This is a new one. XPath, right? Okay. Okay. So now you click on this. It shows a plus sign, and it shows the XPath again. But that is an absolute XPath. Same thing as Firefox XPath. So the validator, I don't see. Okay. Let's try XPath validator. XPath validator is not there. It shows try XPath. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so this is the new extension, try XPath. Expression, okay, but it's not very user friendly. Type in it, okay, expression. Let's try to see what is the XPath. Okay, now for input I am writing. Let's see if this validates or not. Otherwise, we will switch back to the Chrome. Okay, tell me the XPath for username. Input is the type, right here. This is the one I am trying to write for. Yes, next. Contains, right? Or I can directly go for the exact match. Name equals. Okay, I can also use the single quote. Okay, does this point? Yes. Okay, it is highlighting. That means it's working. So we can use this one. Okay, let's try the negative way. Yeah. So if it is correct, it is highlighting in red squares. Okay, so that we can use this try XPath. Okay, now this is the XPath, right? Now I told you instead of exact match, let's go for the partial match. So what is the partial match keyword? Contains. Okay, and then instead of equals we have a comma, and we have to close the code, right? Okay, now this also works. Red color, that means it is correct, one and only one match. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll copy this. Okay, now I will put this in the sign in. Where is sign in? Here, right? Okay, so simply I will create a variable, string variable. How do I create a string variable? Yes.
String give a value and equal to.
I want to keep it as a private because I don't want other classes to access this. Private. Yes. Static. I can put a static, but if I need to, then only I will put string. And what is the string name? that is for username, right? Always variable name starts with a capital small letter and every other word starts with a capital letter, camel case. That's what. And I'll put this XPath here. Okay. Okay. So this is my XPath for username in the page sign in, right? Let's call it. Okay. Now I want you to do the same for this password and sign in, and let's do the same thing for all. Okay. Who will do that? You have already control, right, Sabina? So why don't you do it here? Okay, do it and put it there, password and sign, and then I will give the control to other person for other page, like flight reservation. Okay, go ahead, take control.
So I have this.
No. This is a Firefox, right? Firefox, you use the try. This one.
Okay.
That's the extension. Okay. Now it shows plus sign. You point it to the one which you want to get the XPath from and write it. Okay, it's already selected. So basically you click on execute after writing XPath or just enter. Okay, go, plus sign is there. You have to point it. Which one? Right,
This,
yeah. Click, right.
this is
Okay,
the.
go to TX again. Go to TX again. Right. This is the DOM. Now write the XPath. This is for validating XPath. You
Right.
have the DOM here. Now you validate. Unlike in Chrome, we have this underneath, but here it's on side.
So
Right.
I will change the username to
Okay, I want you to write from the scratch.
Oh, from scratch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, how do you know? You have to
And
practice. Just try.
add name equal to quotes, single quote is password, close it, and then close the bracket. Something I'm missing?
Okay, so it's pointing. So if it is pointing, that means it is correct. Okay,
No.
but I want you to go for partial match, because partial match is, even if you want to change in future, we can change it, right? Partial match. I don't want to go for the full match. So let's stick to the partial.
No. Oops. It's not pointing.
It is pointing. It is correct. The XPath is correct. However, I want you to write in this manner, contains, using the contains. That is correct. I'm
Okay.
not saying it is incorrect, but make it more generic. So that is only possible by using the contains, partial match. Partial match means more generic. Exact match means it's specific, not generic. So let's create XPaths more generic so that we can use, even if developer changes, it should be working. So that's all.
So do I put the word
Contents, yeah. So same thing. The syntax you have to remember. Syntax would not change every time. Only the XPath changes. Syntax is constant.
is contained inside bracket or outside the bracket? I forgot. Is it?
Outside bracket or
Uh,
right. You already seen yesterday also, right? So if you have practiced, you would know.
yeah. No, not this one. This doesn't look right. Input contains. Okay. Hello?
Yeah. Is it correct?
I
Name
don't.
password, right? Yeah. So that is correct. It is highlighting. So copy and put in the class with the name, create a variable for the password and put it.
Oh, I don't see it highlighting. Where do you see it? I don't see the red thing around the password.
Oh, that is wrong then. Yeah, it has to highlight the password, right? Not the username. So you hit this execute button. Okay, it's not even pointing. So that was the previous pointing. So try to correct it again. Some syntactical error is there. I can see it. You're missing something. What is it? Anybody can suggest, jump in and correct, Sabrina. Yes.
Can I look at your previous code? The last one with
Good.
the
Yeah. Good.
on your string on the class that you put that value at username. Oh, I forgot the parentheses.
Correct. Yeah. I want you to figure out that on your own. Okay. Let me just increase. You can use the clicking instead of alt tabbing. You can click. Okay. You can control now.
Okay, this was it. No, where is it? Here. So go back here and then go back to putting parentheses. Wait, where is Eclipse? Right here. No, not this. Where's Selenium? Do you have in the?
It's after the contains.
It's after the contains, you said?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So right here, this would be the parentheses. So now if I were to execute, it's pointing. So that's the right code.
Right. So now you copy it.
So where is your Selenium WebDriver?
Okay. Here it's in Eclipse. Yeah. Go to Eclipse.
Okay.
Now, yeah, type the same thing. Just for your practice. And so one time, if you do it here, you'll be able to do it on your computer later. Okay. Now, name of the variable should be password, right? No. Password is one word. Only if it is a new word, then make it a capital. Password is just one, right? And equals copy paste. Whatever you copy paste. That's it.
Okay. See.
Okay, so we will be doing this for all. Probably I can give you homework. I don't want to spend too much time. So, no, that's
Control V, just to press the Control V.
you copied the right one, right? No, you copied the wrong one. Sabina, let's go back. Where is your XPath that you have written? Go to TX, yeah. Now copy, yeah, that one. You copied the wrong one. Control C and back to Eclipse and delete. Control V.
There you go. Where's the bracket? There needs to be a
And with the semicolon. Correct.
Semicolon right here.
That's it. Good job. Okay. So this is how we do. Okay, I think you need more practice. You have to do it on your own. Okay, Sabina, I'll take the control back. Okay. Now you got the idea, right? We have to do for all objects, like in all pages. Okay. So I'll give you one for each, and next you will get give that all these variables to me, and then I will copy paste in the next class. Okay. That is the homework. Everyone. Okay. So Sabina, you pick one, and you can pick all, and I'll pretty much take it some part from one another. So you go to that register page, get the XPath, create these variables, and send me this. Okay. So next class we'll put. Is it all right?
Yes.
Everyone, yeah, everyone has to do everything or just one of whatever you want. If you want to just do for two variables only, go for logout. It has only one. Just get the XPath for logout button. That's all. So based on your capacity, do at least one, I would say. Okay. Now I will directly jump to a small demo. Okay, so that you will know without module ration, how do you automate it? Okay. So now let me create a test case, simple test case, okay, called example. Actually, it's right now. Yeah. Okay. So since this has direct executable code, because I'm creating in test cases, it has to be executable. So I have to put public static void main. It's not a reusable function class. It is a executable class. Unlike if we are using test.ng, we can put it executable code underneath at the rate test. That's a different story. That is later. Complexity increases. That is for test.ng framework. But normal we use test cases in the normal framework. Okay. Now first remember everyone, this is important. I have configured all these libs here, right? I already did. So first thing I have done that. So what I did, I downloaded all the jars, Selenium jars. So first thing is added all Selenium jars to Eclipse. I already did that. Okay. So now this is being recorded. You can refer to this video later. Okay. Quickly, I will tell you how do you do that. You select the project, right? You go to project here, go to build working sets, or you can go to properties, or you can also right click on this, go to properties. Now you will be here. This is the one I added. Remember, these are the ones I have downloaded. Okay, this is very important. Before doing a single automation, simple automation, you need to do this. So how do I did it? I went to add library and user library. Next, I created the lib. All right. Then I went here. I added all the external jars by selecting here like this. Okay. Then I am here. That's it. You finish. Okay. Now you will be able to see all this. Okay. Now you should be doing this on your computer. Otherwise, it won't work even single. Then you come here. Okay. Now what we have to do, we haven't added the Chrome driver. Okay, Gecko driver is for Firefox. Don't worry about it. We will do this automation later, one thing at a time. First we will focus on Chrome driver. Now I told you, right, WebDriver is a interface. Chrome driver is the implementation of that WebDriver, right? So now we have to configure this instance of Chrome driver, right? This is a class. Now we have to instantiate it. So first things first, I will simply create a new instance, Chrome driver. Okay. Why? Because we are going to run automation in the Chrome browser. So you have to create a new instance of Chrome driver, right? Now, how do you create a new instance of Chrome driver? WebDriver, right? This is like a parent class, just like interfaces. Don't worry about the interface now. WebDriver is my class interface, and WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver, right? Okay. Now there are errors, maybe importing errors. Let's see. Hover over it. Okay. Now see, as soon as you hover over it, you see import WebDriver option. Why this is coming? Because I have already added all these jars already. If you did not add jars, you won't even see this import option. So make sure that, okay, now the error is gone. All right. You all with me? So this Selenium session project All these libraries are added, including the client combined 3.14. That is the Selenium jar, important jar. If that is not added, WebDriver option it will not be able to import. Now it added import statement for that WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver. This is the first and foremost thing to do. Now I am creating instance for Chrome driver because I want to run my automation in Chrome, right? Now I have to import that Chrome driver too. So hover over it and import. Now it has added another import statement for the Chrome driver. First WebDriver, then Chrome driver. Okay. Now done. Now I can use this driver to operate upon any of these objects, but we need the XPaths, which we have already gotten, right? We have already gotten, we put it into the XPaths here somewhere. Login, sign in. Yeah. So we already put it. We will use this. Okay. So Chrome driver is instantiated. Okay. Now there is another thing we need to do before even instantiating Chrome driver, that is configuring, pointing to the Chrome driver, because the Chrome driver doesn't know where the Chrome driver file is in your local machine, right? This is just an instance, but we have to configure it. So for that configuring, what we have to do, we have to configure Chrome driver. So this is the first thing we need to do. Then create an instance of Chrome driver. So I'm just changing the order. Okay, so how do we do it? This is the system variable. System is a class. System dot, there is a function called set property. Okay, don't go for properties, go for the property, because properties takes properties type. So that's for the multiple properties. So we don't need to enter the multiple properties here. We just need to pass the single property. That's all is needed. So the property name is, it's a key is a property name, value is a property value. It's a key and value combo. So this is just one time you need to remember WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver is the property name. Okay, so if it is Firefox, WebDriver dot Mozilla dot driver or Firefox dot driver, we will come to that later. And the value is the path of the Chrome driver. So what is the path of the Chrome driver? Where this exists? It's in the C drivers folder, right? I'll just copy it and put it here. Okay. Now I have to mention the whole path, including the file name and its extension. Okay, Chrome driver. Its extension is exe file. So you have to know that too. Okay, so exe is the extension. The full name of the file is Chrome driver.exe. So I just didn't display here. So you have to know it. Chrome driver.exe. Okay. Now end it with the semicolon. Okay. Now there is a problem. What is that? It's an error. You cannot use backslash inside the quotes. If you are using, you have to escape it. Okay. Now escape character is backslash again. So always remember, if you want to use quotes within a quotes, you have to escape. So these are all invalid escape sequences. Backslash is. In order to use that, you have to use the escape character, which is a backslash again. So that is a correct path now. Now you might be asking me, this is not correct? It won't work if I type it in here, right? Because it's a single slash. Don't worry, Java will automatically ignore this extra slash. So when you execute it, it will convert it to the original path like this with single backslash. So all I am doing is using the escaping character backslash for using the backslash. Same thing. Okay. Now that's the configuration of Chrome driver. Now I created instance of Chrome driver. Okay. Now what I will do is, next thing what I will do to after driver, first thing I have to do is launching the browser. When automation is starting, first thing what you do in the manual testing, you launch the browser, right? You open the browser. Now I had to do it in an automated fashion. Now there is a function for that one, which is being implemented by Chrome driver from WebDriver interface. That is what we are going to use, driver dot. Okay, remember we have used the same using the instance. We have accessed all the methods in the class. Remember in the Java class. Similarly, we will do that here. So there is a function called get in the Chrome driver class, which will basically launch the browser and hit the URL, whatever we want to hit. Okay. So get, the first one is the one. Okay. Okay, so first I will take the exam. Instead of going for the demo UET, let's go for Google example, small example, so that we will see in a non-linear fashion. So this is for the non-linear example. So then we will go for the module raised example later. So what is the Google example? Let's go for, remember always you have to put HTTP in the browser. So let's do the google.com. Okay, with the whole URL including HTTPS, otherwise it wouldn't work. So let me copy this and that's it. Okay, now this is for launching the Google homepage. Okay, it will do two things, launching the Chrome browser and hitting this URL. Okay, now let's execute till here so that we can check if it is working or not. So it's always a good idea to debug step by step, as in when you keep on coding, you better executing till that step. Okay, now since this is an executable class, I can directly execute because it has public static void main, correct? Okay, now let's execute this. So before that, okay, don't worry, even if your Chrome browser open, it will open a new instance of browser. That is for the sake of parallel testing. Also we can do that. It will you open multiple instances of Chrome browser, so don't worry. So we can execute it now. How do we execute it? Right click on the test, run as Java application. Okay, now there are some errors, don't worry. Some errors are ignorable, warnings. So warnings we cannot, we don't have to worry about. Errors we do. Okay, now see, it automatically opened the browser and hit the URL Google. Okay, now what we will do is we will, okay, this line, even though it is red, you can ignore it. It's just saying starting Chrome driver so and so on port, this is on local host, and local connections are only local connections are allowed. It's like running it on local host, and it is trying to execute the Selenium driver. And yeah, so these first 4 lines you can ignore, so don't worry. This often occurs in every project. So even just because it is red, it's not an error, it's an ignorable error warning. Okay, so now we are in Google. Now we will type something in the search box, right? Let's say that is my next test step. Okay, what I have to do first thing in order to operate an object, what I have to do? Yes, first and foremost, what I have to do?
To go on a website.
Launch Chrome browser and open URL. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I didn't hear clearly. It was echoing. Say it again. I want to operate on this. Now I launch the browser and open the URL, right? That open the page. I didn't even operate. Now I want to operate by clicking on typing something here, blah blah blah. Okay, for that what I have to do in order to automate this one? You already know this. You already done this just now. Yes. You have to get the XPath. Remember, XPath. This is the object. I want to operate on it. I want to get the XPath. That is why we have been working on XPath. Now Control Shift high. Okay, don't worry, this I'm going to show in a linear fashion. So modularization is a complex, so we will gradually move. Okay, now I'll take this here, and this is a Chrome, so I can use Control F here. Okay, now tell me the XPath input. Do it again. Yeah, so what I can go for here, I can go for name, correct, name queue. Okay, so @name, even though it's a full match, I am going for the partial match so that I can modify it later if I have to. Okay, queue. Okay, exactly one match, no issues. Now I'll copy this XPath. Okay, now I'll keep this XPath here just for the time being, or I can create a local variable string. Let's call, what is this, search box, right? Search box equals. Okay, so we are doing in a linear fashion, just remember that. Okay, so code is 10. Yep, now done. Okay, so this is a search box XPath. Okay, so I'll say search box underscore XPath just for the time being locally. Okay, now I want to operate on it. So far we have seen, but how do we operate? Using the driver again. Okay, pay attention. Driver dot. Okay, first and foremost I have to find the element, find this object using what? Using the XPath, this XPath. So there is a method already defined in the Chrome driver that is called find element. Okay, there are two methods, find elements in case there are multiple elements with the same XPath, so that we can store in a list. Okay, list of web elements. Don't worry about that yet. So we are gonna use find element only. Find element. Okay, I don't have to type completely, I can partially type and select. That is the beauty of the Eclipse. Now driver.find element, there is a class called by. Okay, this is very important, this line will be repeated throughout the automation, so just pay attention. By dot, now by what you want to find the element, there are many ways: by CSS selector, by ID, by link text, by name, by partial link text, by tag name, by XPath. Now what we are interested in, by what?
XPath.
XPath, correct. Now it is asking for the XPath expression. Now I have already stored the XPath expression here, correct? Now I can use it here. Okay, now I can operate, but instead of using this, I created a variable, right? So I can use the variable. This is the nicest way. I mean, we are going from crude to nice way. Okay, now by XPath, and I have found the element. Okay, this actually returns a web element. Okay, I can actually store web element type. Let's say v web element equals to this. Okay, now web element is again not imported, I imported. Now this return the web element. Web element means this element is a web element in WebDriver terminology. So now I have got an element, I can operate on it using we dot. Okay, instead of this, I'll show you directly. Okay, so then we will use both approaches. Now in one go, I can use this driver dot, using the driver, which is an instance of Chrome driver. I find element by XPath, by not by CSS selector, not by ID, not by name, but by XPath, which takes the parameter my XPath string that I passed, and using this I can operate on it. How many types of operations are there? I can clear the search box. This is a select. This is the text box. It automatically knows it. I can click. I can do whatever operations that are allowed to be done. Now what I want to do, I can first clear it. Okay, why clear it? Because if there is already something, I want to delete it. That's all. In a search box, that's the first thing I need to do. Okay, Then what I can do, I can click on it. Try out that. Don't worry, these multiple operations we'll put in a single function, in an infrastructure function here, and we'll call it later. But for the first time, you need to do it linear way just to understand it. Okay. Find element again. Y.XPath. Okay. XPath expression is such XPath. Then I will click. Okay. Click is the next one. So basically what I'm trying to say to Chrome driver is, hey Chrome driver, go to this, clear this box and click on it so that I can type next one. Okay. Now comes the next operation. Now we will do the same thing. Find element by.XPath, and XPath expression is same, it won't change. Search box, and now I want to type something. So send keys is the method. Okay, you have to remember for text box you have to use send keys. Okay, now whatever I send keys takes the argument text, which basically will be used to type in here. So what do you want to type in here? Tell me.
Flight booking or something.
Flight booking. Okay, anything. Flight booking. Let's see how many websites are there. I want to see flight booking. Okay, now if I run, it will launch this browser, open the URL google.com and come here, clear here. If there is already text, there won't be text, but just in case, it's a good idea. And click here and then type flight booking. Manually, we are seeing one time. This is what it is going to do according to manual test case. Now, what I have to do after flight booking, I have to click on the Google search or enter, right? In order to see the results. Okay. Now we will see till this point because we are going step by step. First we open, then this is for the XPath. XPath for what? For search text box. That is a text box. Now what we are trying to do, I am trying to operate on text box. That means I am entering something. These are all operations. Clear, click and send. I don't have to do these directly. I can come to this going forward, but initially I'm showing everything. Okay, so far what we have, whatever we have developed the code, we want to try it, test it if it is working or fine or not. First thing I have to do is there are no errors. There are no errors in the project, current project. Don't worry about the other project I'm closing. So this project does not have any errors, reds, right? Okay, let me close all other, close others and only work on one at a time. Okay, now I want to execute. So this time I would like one of you guys to execute. So I'll give you who will take Muhammad Hayat? You want to try? Quickly respond. Who want to take it? Volunteer, I'll give them. You just have to execute, that's all.
So save and then go to the click the run and then execute it automatically.
No DOM. That DOM thing is over. We have already captured the XPath and everything. I want to execute. I have done execution before, right? Till here, launching browser, same way.
You put the green button right there.
Yeah. So who want to take it? Sabina?
Okay, I'll take it.
Sabina. Okay, just execute. This is a very easy job. Don't worry about it.
Run as.
Run as, correct. Java application, exactly. Okay, now watch. That's all. Now whatever we have coded, is it working or not? It launched the browser, Chrome browser. In a restored mode, we can open in a maximize mode later and type the flight booking. Okay, perfect. Did it work?
Yes.
Yes. Now close it. Now we will go to the next test step. I mean, we are basically automating the test steps based on the test case. There is an imaginary test case. Remember in Excel spreadsheet, let's imagine. Okay, first step one is launch the browser. Expected result, browser is launched. Second step is open the URL google.com. Expected is google.com open. In the while execution, our actual result will be yes, google.com is opened. Now third step is type in flight booking in the search field. That is step 3, and in expected flight booking should be typed. In actual, flight booking is actually typed. You write the same thing. So pass. So next thing is hit the Google search button, right? That's the next thing. Or you enter it. Either way you can do it. So which one you want to do it? Hit that or hit that. Normally we will do the both way, right? So we will either enter like this or we will click. We will also click this button, Google search. So either way you can do it. Okay, so I will show you both. First, let's go for enter. Enter button. Click on enter button or submit that. Search results. Okay. So the driver also has the method for directly submitting without having to click on that enter button. I mean submit button. So driver dot submit. I don't know if it has it. Okay, they might be removed. They might have removed it. So don't worry. So oh sorry. What? Light reservation. Okay, initial web page is like this, remember. Okay, now what you are trying to click on Google search, right? Not this one. So let's properly click on, because enter might not work sometimes, so different browsers. So let's take the object XPath. Okay, now take the objects XPath and put it in here, and we will do that. Okay, so one thing at a time. Now we have capture. Okay, who wants to take control again? Simple. You have to take XPath of this and put it back in the code, and you can operate on to if you are comfortable. Yeah, so highlight it. That's it. Right. The XPath below. First check the values and key properties, values and everything. You can actually take a screenshot of this just to avoid going out of focus if you want to. But if you remember, you can always come back to this later. Okay. Yeah. What is the type of element? Type of element is input. Even though it's a button, it's an input because you are basically inputting. Okay. Name is okay. 0 matches. Again, go back. You're trying to type name BT and K. Button K.
K is capitalized or?
It's case sensitive. So remember, you have to exactly type. Okay, there are 2 matches. Now we want 1 match. Okay. Then we'll go further to make it single match. There are 2 buttons, or maybe button span button. There is a like padded button. So go for the other value, other property. There is a value also, right? You can include. Can you use and contains? That's okay. Sabina. So use and provide one more. So how do you do that? Here, use and. No. This is small and, not and then contains value Google search. Same thing. Same syntax. Contains bracket open at the rate. Same thing. So basically, it's a complex XPath for getting single match only.
Value.
No, first bracket. This one is the bracket open and close in the contents, and then parenthesis is mistake. You put the this one is.
You can correct it later. You just type it first and then say correct the syntax later. That's fine. Okay, and comma, yeah. You can type in Google.
Parenthesis missing.
Right.
So yes, parenthesis
There before at.
Contains should not have bracket, normal bracket, not square bracket. Square, remove the square bracket. Square bracket is for outside only. So there is extra square bracket here.
Next to parenthesis, yeah, first one.
Yes. And close the parenthesis, I mean square bracket at the very end, last. Okay, still 2 matches. What's the problem? What is the second match? See, it is the same, but that is a padded button. So it's trying to look for outside the button and inside the button. So both are. So you have to still filter it out. Single match.
So should we use area label as the type?
And choose, but check for the other option, other match. Is it the same area label? Then we cannot. Yeah. See, it's the same thing. So try to find a unique property that is not there in the second one, but there in the first one. Okay. Now you have to use the other technique. Go for the parent. You have to put the parent in the beginning. I told you, right? And didn't work. So go for the parent. Basically, these two are siblings, right? So what is the parent of input? No, LI is not the parent. That was example. What is the parent? You have to see. What input is a child. What is its parent? Div, not LI. LI is for the old example. Right? You always look at the DOM. What it says, you have to take it. Okay, LI is also parent, but it's the grandparent. Yeah, you are correct in a way. But take div and see. Still 1 of 2. Okay, now this is the okay. Wait a second. I am trying to see where is the other match. Other match is here, and I am trying to find what is it. Yeah, its parent is also div. Okay, so now its parent we have to go for it. Basically, we have to go for its grandparent. Okay, now that way we can filter out. Now div's parent is li. Now again type li here. Basically, we are going backward in the hierarchy to filter out li. No, there is a space. Do not put any spaces. Okay, now li. Okay, so li is not actually parent. Remember, these are siblings on the same level. If it is on the same level, siblings. The center parent is div, right? So now let's go back all the way. Div. Okay, div J is what is the JS name for ALS? Okay, this one. Okay, li is not actually parent; it's a sibling. If it is on the same level, both are children of same parent. That's what it means. Okay, now let's see what these guys div class. Okay, now see the second match inputs parent div's class is this one. Okay, now the our match first match div's property is this one. Okay, it has some unique property I can go for. Okay, remember class fp dolc, just remember that. And this one is so I can go for this one. So div, and I will mention the parents property also so that I can get the unique. Okay, just watch or we'll do it. Div, same thing. And I can go for partial match or full match. Okay, I want to go for partial match always because it's a good idea. And where is that guy? Again, go for it. Okay, so that's second match. Okay, so I can go for class or JS name because JS name is a unique. It doesn't. It's not there in the second match, so that's a good idea. Contains at the rate JS name, comma. Okay, this is a complex XPath. Remember, just try to get comfortable with it because it's important. Otherwise, okay, did I miss something? Parenthesis. Close. See, now it's one match. So you understood, right? This is a child which has two matches. Now, if I give this parent is unique for this child, then all of a sudden it became one match. So this is one. So did everybody is okay with this one? How did we write? This one is a child, this one is parent. I mentioned the parent's properties also so that I can make single match.
So do you
Any
do the
question?
same thing if, let's say, the grandparent is unique?
Correct. If this still results in 2 matches, I have to go for grandparent and find a unique path, unique property that is not there in the second match or subsequent matches. So you have to basically work on it. Did you understand this one? This complex, it will be more complex than this. Trust me. So if you understand this, I believe you can understand every other. Anybody has questions, you can ask me right now. I took basically 2 properties for the child and took a property for parent also. So basically I'm saying div with this, JS name with this, as a child input with name this and value this, Google search. The combination is unique. Everybody is with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to, I mean, don't worry if you don't get it in the first time. So you have to work on it. So we will see going forward. So this is always remember, this is on the not on the same level. See this straight line, vertical straight line. If it is on the same line, it's a sibling, not a parent. So if it is on the little bit right side like this, you understand the hierarchy, right? So this div is the parent of center. The li is and div both are brothers or sisters, siblings. Okay, I'm just trying to make connection with this human relations. So div center, this is a hierarchy. If it is a slant one, if it is on same level, these are siblings. Okay, however, these 3 siblings are having same parent div again. So this hierarchy, this relationship you have to understand in order to find the XPath. So I'll copy this and I'll also put this in an example for XPath, complex XPath. Okay, so just for your reference later, parent, child, and including parents property. That's a addition I did today. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. I copied this XPath. Okay. Now put this XPath wherever you want to and create a variable for it so that we can operate on that element using the XPath by driver. Create the XPath variable. Yeah, it's already in the, okay, you can copy again. It's already in the clipboard.
Yeah. That's a long.
That's a problem. So what's the problem there?
To enter and then broken the line, no problem. Just enter in.
Did you end the quote and put the semicolon at the very end? Okay, let me close this. It's actually blocking your view. Okay, semicolon is missing. Yep, that's it. Okay, good job, Sabina. So, okay, now give me the control back. Okay, I think somebody else can do the rest because I want to operate on it, but don't worry, I won't give you yet because it's a little bit. Now I have the button. So just for the naming convention's sake, I'll change it to XPath because I don't know what is this button. Is it the XPath button or XPath surf button or something else, right? Now one more thing you have to remember: all variable names starts with small letter. Okay. Class name starts with the capital letter. File name starts with the capital letter, Java file name. But variable name starts with the small letter. You have to remember that. Okay. Now I have to operate on this, right? How do you operate on? Using the driver. What is the driver? Driver is the instance of Chrome driver, which is to basically operate on Chrome browser's elements. Now driver dot, using the driver, I will find element by what? Not, I can also, I will show you examples of these one for each two, but majorly we'll concentrate on XPath. So go for XPath. Now what is the XPath? I stored in a variable, string variable, that is button XPath, right? Okay, now I have to operate on it. Okay, so I'll share you all the operations related to each element later, but this is just an example. So dot. Now what do you think I have to do on a button? Do I have to clear or click? I have to click, right? Manually, whatever I will be doing, I'll be doing the same here. So basically, I'll go and click the Google search button, right? Then later things later, we will automate that later. Now we will debug till here or execute till here. Okay, now I'm executing again. So this is called debugging, step-by-step process. Okay, did it do correctly or not? Did it click or not?
Yeah.
It clicked. You want to see again? I just missed it. So don't worry, the debugging is just it's gonna take 5 seconds. Okay, typed and clicked. That's why you are able to see the all the search results. So it clicked. Okay, perfect. Now we can also maximize this from the automation code. I'll show you that later. That is the configuration side. So we have to do it here. We have to set maximize. That is little bit complex. So I want you guys to focus on XPaths and how do you operate on the basic elements, basic objects in the web page. Okay, now that is over. So now I want to do little bit of validation, basic validation. Don't worry. Light reservation. You typed in, right? Now what do you want to do? So if you look at the title of the page, it automatically changes to flight reservation based on the search term, right? Did you observe that? Now that is my test case. Now my test case step says after clicking the Google button, search button, the title of the web page must read according to the search term I typed in. So it has to exactly match, like flight reservation hyphen Google search. Okay, anybody is able to see what I'm hovering on? So you can see completely. Okay, now that is a validation, assertion, which is an important aspect of testing, software testing lifecycle, validation. Okay, now I want to do it. Now what I have to do? Tell me. I want to get the title of the page and validate it. How do I do that? Yes. So using the driver itself, right? Same thing. So first of all, I have to capture the text of the title. Don't worry, we'll capture the text of the page also later. Okay, now capture the text from page title, right? Okay.
Can we take a break for about 15 minutes before we resume?
No, it's over. It's over. In 15 minutes, I'll end. We'll continue next. Tuesday and probably on Thursday also. I don't know whether Jai told you about.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry. I will finish it in 15 minutes because I want you to focus on the simple example and give you some homework. Then we will continue next week. Weekdays. Okay. So I want to capture this text. This is very important. So focus. Now for capturing text, you don't need the XPath because it's not an element of the web page. It's a element of the browser itself. The whatever tab is. So there is no XPath needed. Simply I will capture. So there is a method in the Chrome driver. That method is driver dot. Yeah, tell me. Anybody? Any guesses? Get title, exactly. Get is for getting the URL, get title. So all you have to do is you have to type the partial name and choose the method. Available methods are already there. Just choose them. They're all self-explanatory. Get title means it is getting me title. Okay, simple. Get title. So this is gonna return me a string. So if you look at it, see, okay, watch this carefully. the developer has written, I mean, whoever developed the WebDriver code, just like us, okay, he made this function return a string. Okay, now I can store, it is returning me a string, which is a title. Now I can store that in a string variable called title. Okay, now this gives me title, but I have to validate it, right? I have to print it or somewhere. Okay, let's print it quickly and see. Title of the page is, what is it, plus title. Okay, now quickly do this and verify right here. Okay, we haven't put assertion yet, we are just checking whether it's able to capture the title or not. Okay, so what is the title? Is it capturing correctly? Flight booking hyphen Google search. Okay, flight booking hyphen Google search, it is capturing correctly. That means it is worked, but it is just for printing, so we have to validate it, right? How do we validate it? And before that, I'll tell you one more thing. After clicking, it takes some time to display results and display the title, right? So basically we have to wait a little time, because if you're not matching, syncing up with application, you might fail. That means that if you're trying to validate it before this is printed, it's going to result null. That means it's going to fail the validation, probably it's going to fail the test case also, so which is not good. So we have to take care of that waiting from our end, so that is called implicit wait. Okay, so don't worry, I will share the notes with you guys. Different notes is also there, so for the time being, try and understand the concept. So added all Selenium jobs to XPath, then capture XPaths, and 3 start coding, and 4 debugging. Okay, in between we are debugging, right? Okay, so then what you have to do? Okay, or debugging, and finally you're running, executing. Final execution, that will last. Okay, so meanwhile I'll just briefly explain about weights. There are one implicit weight and explicit weight, so mostly we'll be using implicit weight. Implicit weight is WebDriver weight. Implicit wait means you're waiting for the application to respond. Okay, waiting for application to respond. Okay, and there is a dynamic wait. Okay, I want it to wait for certain time before max time specified, but even if the application responds within the max time, it will not wait for the rest of the time, it will continue to execute the rest. So that is the dynamic wait. It is waiting for the application to respond by for the max time specified. Don't worry about the syntaxes. One is a static wait. Static wait is just wait for specified time. Okay. So we are going to use one of these. Okay, so I suspect that after clicking the search button, it's going to take some time to display the result based on the traffic and everything. So before doing the rest of the operations, I have to wait a little bit time, right? So there is a function called driver dot wait. Okay, or driver dot, if you see, there are overloaded functions. I can specify how long it can wait in terms of milliseconds and nanoseconds. I'll go for milliseconds, right? So 1 millisecond, 1 second has 1000 milliseconds. So if I want 1 second, 1000. Okay, since this I remember I told you add throws surrounding with catch and try catch. Okay, so if it suspected that it is going to cause an exception, you have to include that in the try catch. And there is another way, don't worry, you can, without having to use try catch, I can add throws declaration to it. So here, if it throws declaration, it's going to add the same thing, throws exception, no problem. So same thing it will do. Okay, so if I don't do it manually, if you do it automation, okay, throw specific exception. Now if there are multiple exceptions, okay, then you have to mention each exception specifically. So in order to avoid that, I'll just mention single exception, because this exception class contains all other exceptions: interrupted exception, arithmetic exception, index out of bounds exception, do not arithmetic divide by zero exception, everything. So instead of mentioning all, I'll just mention one exception. Okay. Now one more thing is, I can mention all this code inside the try catch block. So single, okay, surround with try catch. So this is gonna take care of all. So every code, every piece of line I'm putting inside the try catch, which is a good idea, because any line is gonna throw exception, it's gonna come here, catch block, and throw it. And I can also this e dot toString. Okay, it's gonna print exception, stack trace matter. Finally block is if I want to execute anything finally. Okay, that's later. Okay, this is a static wait. Okay, there is another type of wait also, which is thread dot sleep. Okay, so this also does the same thing like this. This is gonna wait for 2 seconds. Both are gonna do the same thing. This is a static wait, like I told you. This is the implicit wait. Okay, and we can see the dynamic wait later. Okay, so this is also kind of static implicit wait only, but there is another thing, another syntax for the implicit wait. I'll show you that going forward. Okay, now what we are trying to do, we want to validate this. Okay, we can create another function, but I'm showing you linearly. Validate the page title. That means compare it with expected and actual. My test case says expected title should be the search term followed by hyphen followed by Google search, whatever, with the spaces. Now I have to like dynamically validate that. Okay, how do I validate this? Tell me. Simply I have to compare. How do I compare this? How do I compare two strings? So in order to compare, I need two variables, string variables. One is expected, one is actual. So I have to create those two. So string expected page title, simple one. What is the expected page title? It has to be something like this: flight reservation hyphen Google search, whatever we type. So I will make it more dynamic later. So for the timing, I'm putting statically for understanding. Flight reservation hyphen Google search. Okay, this is my expected. Now actual is what? Actual is whatever I captured. Okay, this title is actual, right? So now I'll rename it as actual page title. Okay, so this is my actual page title, and this is my expected. Okay, so now I have both. Simply I have to compare. How do I compare? Tell me. If condition, right? Remember I told you if condition. If expected page title dot equals, okay, it compares actual page title, then provide a pass for me. Okay, so I am simply sysing out. We can report it to PDF later. For the timing, just remember how do you do it in the console itself. Okay, now what is it a pass or fail? Pass, right? So how do you say this? Pass. You can write whatever you want here. Now page title is correct. Yeah. Now else, what happens? Else what is the condition? Is it a pass or fail condition? That means both are not matching. Expected is different from actual. or vice versa. So my test case will fail. So I can put red colors and everything. That's all later. Don't worry about the fancy thing. Just concentrate on the functionality. Now, page title is not correct for the expected. Okay, and I can also mention the actual and expected. So I have to be clear about it. So I'll simply plus. I'll take a next line /n plus. All right. Okay, /n is actually inside this. I can put it inside the string itself. It's a string, and here I can say expected equals expected equals. Yes, what is expected? Expected page title, right? Plus, and I can put another one and /n next line and actual equals. What is it? Plus actual. Okay, it may seem difficult for you, but it's easy if you follow the quotes and everything. Okay, just see there is some error. Okay, there is a double. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, so this is gonna show me fail, and it's also gonna show me what is expected and what actual printed to console, so that I can compare easily. Okay, now expected is this one, flight booking, because I'm typing, so I can make it more dynamic, but because whatever I type, I want it to compare to. So here I'm typing statically. I can make it a variable and pass that variable to. Okay, so that we will do. Little more dynamic code. String. So let's search term. Let's say. Okay, so I'm putting such term flight reservation, flight booking here as a variable. Okay. Now instead of passing that string, hard coding it, I'll pass such term. Okay. Now whatever such term I pass, I want it to be displayed in the title. So I'll pass here. Same thing. So this is a dynamic, more dynamic thing. So I'll pass such term. Okay, this is how you do faster if you're more experienced. Now expected page title is always according to, and actual is whatever actual is going to display on the runtime. So this is directly getting from driver. Driver will take care of it. So don't worry. And I'm taking and I'm putting both of them in variables, and I'm simply comparing. Both are equal, pass. Both are not equal, fail. Simple, right? Okay. Now let's try to execute this simple example. This is how it's going to be in real time also. More modularized, that's all. There is a difference. So you have to pay attention. Okay, let's see. Debug. Okay, execution is over. Close this. Okay, now see. Everything fine or something failed. The title of the page is flight booking Google search. But there is an exception, illegal monitor state exception. Okay, so let's see. How do you see that? You click on this, right? And it will take you there. Okay. Now there is a exception in the driver.wait. Okay, let's not worry about this later. Okay, let's worry about this later because it's not directly related. I'll show you more sophisticated way of implicit wait. Now redo it. I want you to focus on the validation part. Okay, now okay, it automatically displays here. See, Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. That means Chrome driver is controlling, not manual. So that it is run by automation software. So you can easily okay, now test case is pass because both are matching. Page title is correct. Title of the page is flight booking Google search. Okay, now that is pass. Now how do I want to show you the failure case also. So I'll just make a little bit modification. All right. Now maybe by mistake I put expected is little bit differently. Okay, maybe I'm expecting an exclamation mark at the very end. Okay, maybe that's a requirement and actually is not showing the exclamation mark at the end, which is a fail according to business requirement. I have to raise a defect and so on and so forth. So let's see that example. Let's simulate that example. All right. Okay, so it launched, it opened, it typed, and captured the text. Now let's see the result. Okay, so it is a fail, obviously. What is the difference? I am expecting flight booking hyphen Google search exclamation mark, and actually is flight booking Google search without exclamation mark. So it is a fail. That means that our code is working properly, right? I can change it back to the original pass. Okay, so now this is how you do. And validation, we have seen the capturing creating the instance of Chrome driver, configuring it, launching the browser with the URL, and capturing the XPaths of the appropriate elements in the web page, operating upon them, and then waiting certain time statically, and validating the portion of the web page like title. We'll validate more later, and finally display the pass or fail result to the console. Okay, and finally I have been doing something manually. If you observe, what is that? After application is opened, I'm closing it manually, right? Now I had to do that from the automation itself. So how do I do that? So instead of putting that in the here try, I'll put that in the finally block, because I want to close the browser always, no matter what, even though exception. Okay, now driver dot. Okay, so some things are not available in the finally, so don't worry, I'll put it in the, because driver is instantiated within the try block, right? So in order for this to be available, I have to do it outside. Okay, so let's do it outside try block. So the driver is available in the finally block also now. So now I can driver dot quit. So there is a difference between close and quit. Okay, there is a close also. Okay, close means one browser only. If you're only executing in one instance of browser, it will close one instance. If you want to close entire instances of browser, including this open one, you use the quit. Okay, since I don't want this to be closed, I'll keep I want it to be open, I'll just use close. If you want, for example, if you're trying to execute multiple tests parallelly, then you want to close everything, you use driver.quit. Okay, so I'll just comment it. Okay, just use one only. Quit will quit all the browser instances of Chrome. Close will only do that for one instance. Okay, now let's try this again. Okay, so there are code. Okay, I'm just doing correct indentation, which is shortcut is Control I. Okay, so that everything is in the normal manner. See, now everything is aligned properly without any, like for example, if you put like this, okay, it's not gonna look properly, right? Now Control I will automatically set it everything in the code. So that's another shortcut. Correct indentation. Indentation means alignment.
Can we get the project files?
Now let's run it and talk about it quickly. Okay, so it opened, same thing, typed in search term, clicked and captured. Okay, closed also. Sorry, I didn't close. I closed automatically. So now this is said to be the complete automated test case of the simple example. Okay. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to share these simple examples with you guys. Yeah. Go ahead now. With your question. This is called linear framework example, because I did everything in the one single go without any different classes and different libraries. Okay, any questions?
Just repeat the importing the jar file steps.
Okay, you want me to show again so that you can actually. refer to the recorded video. This session is being recorded and it will be shared by Asad, right? Okay, however, I'm going to show that again. So once you create a project, right, just right click on it, go to properties and go to libraries. Okay, you are already in the libraries, that's fine. Now I created this one. I will create one more and show you guys. Okay, before that, what you have to do, you must have already downloaded the drivers and everything, jars. I already did that, remember, yesterday I did that. Okay, where did I downloaded softwares? I downloaded Selenium jar Java from which site? From this site. You have to do this already. Where is this guy? Okay, don't worry. Selenium download, just type it, go to Selenium HQ, and all you have to download is this one. Okay, Java, not the C#. Okay, then you have to download Google Chrome driver, latest, 2 things. So that will download this and this. Firefox will be for this one. Okay, 3 things are downloaded. Now what I did, I extracted these and put it in the driver folder, C drivers, create one folder and extract. So there will be these 2 jars and libs as more jars. Now we have to add these jars to the Eclipse. Now here we are. Now simply click on add library. All right, user library, next. Now click on user library and click on new. Okay, let's call it library. Okay, because I already created lib, so I don't want it to be mixed up with. So let's say library. Oh, don't take control. Library. Now select that library, empty, it is empty. Now click on add external jars. Okay. Now go to your folder, select these 2. All right. Now I selected these 2. Again select library. Again add more jars from the libs folder. Select all. So overall, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those 2. So total 11. All are added. Now click OK. Now select this library and finish it and apply it and OK. That's it. Now you can see all of them here. Okay. Everybody clear on that? Any doubts? So these 2 are same. So since these 2 are same, I'm going to remove one of these. So this should have all the 11 jars. Clear? If you're not clear, you can refer to the recorded video so that you can pause and do it multiple times. So that's easy. Okay. So any questions in the automation development, code development? Oh, so anybody explain me what we have done so far here? This is the simplest example, don't worry. So going forward, we are going to go complex for complex examples, framework and everything that we have built framework for. We haven't used it yet, right? So we are going to, so all you have to do is do this one thing as a homework if you can. Take this website, right? What is this website? newtools.demo80.com, and go to that and capture all its XPaths from each page. Okay, just now we have done, just like we have done this. Okay, then we are going to use that path from, pass these XPaths from that to test case, unlike we have done this linearly. Okay, that's your homework. Okay, any questions? Linear framework and homework. Capture all XPaths from demo 80 site. That's all. So remaining we will see in the next class Tuesday, and hopefully there will be class on Thursday also. I don't know whether Javed or Asad will has informed you. So that is according to the email. You can look out for an email. So all right, guys. Today that's all for today. So we have seen a simple example for the Selenium automation with a linear framework, and we have just started with modularized framework with a hybrid approach. So there will be more folders like data pool and everything. So that's all we are going to see later. And any questions, you can let me know right now. Data will continue. So okay, so one more thing is you create your this thing in the GitHub and tell me your this thing path, okay, so that I'll verify it and share this code in that. So from next class onward, we are going to share this code. Since this class we have only seen one example, I'm sharing this directly within the notes in this notepad. So you can actually create your class and put this code inside and make modifications, come up with your own test cases. But before that, remember you have to configure it properly, libraries and jobs and everything. Okay. Okay, so if no questions, we will end this session today here and talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna end this. Okay, yeah. Bye.